Today on Rat and Cat, I'm going to tell you about my recent visit to Dead Horse Cave. It's the longest lava cave in the continental United States. I joined the Oregon Grotto some time ago, but I haven't had a chance to get out there and go caving because I've just been really busy. Finally, one weekend came up recently where I saw there was a group going out to Dead Horse Cave, and given its notoriety and that I had a free weekend, I jumped on it. One important note about this trip is that I didn't bring my camera. It's not that I forgot my camera, I had all my gear with me, but I just decided that I wasn't going to take any footage on this first outing with this group because partially because I didn't know everybody in the group, and also I just wanted to take a break. I'm a workaholic and it's just good for me to just stop and do something for myself. So I am going to animate this caving adventure for you. The entrance we went through on Dead Horse Cave was pretty small. It went straight down about 4 feet and then straight back in about 12 feet before it opened up. And that first little bit is just really tight. It was tight enough that I had bruises on my stomach. Now I've got a bit of a stomach, so that makes sense, but that tells you a bit how tight it really was. Once we got into the cave, it opened up in a little bit more, and there was a creek running through the bottom that kind of disappeared into the cave floor. And we made it into the main tube. It went around a corner and there was a waterfall, and we were going to continue up there when we ran into two members from a different part of our group that had gone in a different way, and they were headed back out the same way we'd come in. Well, we got to talking there and realized there was a lava tube up to our left, and it actually had split into 3 lava tubes, one on top of the other, and the 2 were kind of broken down on the top, but the one was really open at the bottom. So we went through that, and it curved around and came right back into the same cave that we were in, and I hadn't noticed that. And the more I was in there, the more I realized there were lots of little tubes that split off and came back in or didn't go anywhere, and it's just very maze-like. Then the girl that had been from the other group went to leave, and she came back and she said, "Isn't this the way we came in?" She said, "It feels kind of tight." We started poking around a little bit, and I went down there and shimmied up in there, and it was difficult for me to tell whether that was the way we'd come in or not because it was really tight the way we'd come in, and I thought there was another branch that went off, but I couldn't remember for sure. It went in about 5 feet, really narrow, just narrow enough to cram yourself in, and then it split off into 2 chutes that were narrow enough to cram through. And I could imagine myself cramming through those, but coming back out would be really, really difficult. At that point, I started to feel the closest to claustrophobic. I'm not really a claustrophobic person. It was almost a loathing. One of the #1 rules of caving is don't touch the rocks on the ceiling or the sides because you can damage the features, and a lot of them are loose, especially in these breakdown areas. And you know, it wouldn't take a very big rock to fall on you to do serious damage, much less one that weighs a ton or 2. And I just had to think, okay, this is not a problem. I just have to take my time, and there are other options that we haven't tried yet. So let's just see what's around. So I backed out, and we found another lava tube going off to the right, but it was going uphill. And one of the guys with us went ahead and explored it. We were saying, "I don't think this is the way." And he said, "Well, it may not be the way, but I want to explore it anyhow." And he went up it, and sure enough, it came back into the same tube that we were in. Meanwhile, the woman who'd been separated from her team member found another lava tube. When we'd gone off the main chamber and done that little loop and come back into the main lava tube, there was actually another lava tube going off of that also had a stream come up in it and disappear. And so that's what had thrown us all off. So we went ahead and went out that way, back through that narrow 12-foot long, I think, passage, and then up a few feet. And we got out fine. It was tight, but doable. So we spent a lot of our time just in that area, and when I got out of the cave and looked at the map of the entire cave, we had only explored a very tiny section of this really extensive lava cave system. It was really fun, but coming out of the cave, I just felt like, I don't know if I ever want to do this again if this is how most of the caving is. And a lot of the caves are small like that. It's been just over a week since that experience. And now looking back on it, it was so much fun, and I can't wait to get back out. It's definitely not for everybody, and I wouldn't recommend going in any of the lava caves without an experienced person with you, or at least a map. There are drop-offs and sinkholes, and like I said, mazes. So don't think that just because it's a lava tube, it's going to be an easy caving experience.